On today's episode, we're answering the question, no, we're not, because I'm on the wrong damn outline.
What else are people doing wrong in challenges? I know challenges. Allison knows challenges. We both run them. What are other people doing wrong in challenges that they're just not seeing?
I would say that the number one thing, and then this lever works both ways, right? The biggest swing. So we always talk about like, what's the little hinge that swings the big door, but this can also close the door. So is knowing exactly what to teach, because I feel like people get lost in their own genius and their own expertise, and they want to share, quote unquote, all the things. And especially, this is not a knock to anyone personally, because we all fall into it, but we want to prove ourselves. We want to share everything that we know. We want people to like us, respect us, listen to us. And so if you don't dial in exactly what to teach in a way that is digestible, logical, and makes sense for your audience, you can lose them on day one. And if you lose them on day one and they disengage, I'm telling you, you will never get them back. So it's super crucial to just set up what are the building blocks of these 4 to 5 days going to be. How do we teach in small digestible chunks? I always tell people we want to teach in such a way that every day gets a little mini transformation. So a light bulb should go off every day. And then day one, I don't know, how deep do you guys want to go for this?
Deep. We want deep. Yeah.
Deep. Okay. Well, when I work with people and I help them map out their content, the first thing you have to figure out is, okay, we talk in marketing about the big promise, right? What is the one outcome that you're telling people that they're going to get? What's the promise if they do these things that they're going to get at the end? So we have to pull that back. We talk about that with offers all the time, but we have to apply that to your challenge too, right? So at the end of these 4 to 5 days, what is the one thing these people are going to walk away from? Walk away with, excuse me. So that you have to figure that piece out. And so let's say, actually give me a topic. So we'll sort of map one out here.
Sales copy. I mean, what?
Sales copy. Okay. So the first thing I would do if I was working with you to put together a challenge around sales copy is I would say, what is the outcome there you expect them to have at the end of those 4 to 5 days?
Well, and it's funny because even before we do that, shouldn't we decide what to sell? Because the outcome that I want them to have might change depending on if I'm selling my copy services or I've created a copy course, right?
Yeah, we'll go. So I will reverse engineer from the offer that we're leading into at the end of the challenge. I assumed naively there was just one offer. So what is that big offer that you're leading them into?
I'm going to make it tough on you and pretend that, I want to sell done for you copy services.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's play.
I would also ask you, let's get more specific. Done for you, what kind of copy services? Email, sales pages, landing pages?
Sales pages.
Application funnel?
Yeah, funnels.
Funnel.
Like sales page, landing page to sales page with some email follow-up, like a funnel type of situation.
I would, before we even map it out, I would tell you to pick, even if you do all of those things, I would tell you to pick one so we can really get specific and home in on what the content is you're going to teach throughout, because there's just, again, a curse of the expert. Like, I want to tell you that I can do all of these things, and people are like, holy crap, too much. So as an example, I saw a guy, I was like, damn, talk about niching down. I saw a guy with an ad that I actually got on a call with him because I wanted to experience it. He does webinar email sequences only. That's his niche for copy.
That's very niche. I love that.
Super niche, right?
Super niche down.
And so even like seeing the ad, I'm like, this guy's got to be the best webinar email copywriter ever, if that's like his thing. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but like that niching down is like, well, I know exactly what I'm going to him for. So what would you like people to say? That's exactly what I want her to work on.
I'll go with what Jenny said in sales pages.
Sales pages. Okay.
Sales page copy all the way.
Sales page copy.
Okay. So I would, and you want done for you. Okay. I would say, great. So the promise at the end of the offer is, hey, you're going to have the super fun, high converting sales page. So you, as somebody who teaches that, what would you want the outcome of somebody to go through a 4 to 5 day challenge training with you? Like, what's the big here? And I should pull
What
it
if
back and tell you.
okay, I was going to say, because while you're thinking about it, if you pull it back, what if it's not that they write the sales page in 4 or 5 days, it's that they come up with the concept, like the parts that they need to know, or the, you know, because there's different parts of a sales page, and maybe they start to formulate what some of that is, or no?
Yeah, literally be the next question I would ask.
Okay.
So I would say on the first end, what I would suggest is, hey, we want to arm these folks. We want to educate these folks so that they could build their own high converting sales page at the end of this, knowing most people aren't going to want to write their sales page. And so the background is, I want to vet this person, i.e. you, the person leading this, so that I can feel comfortable making yes, I could go do this on my own and it take me 8 weeks or longer, or I could pass this off to a professional that has now walked me through their system, walked me through their framework, walked me through how I could do it, but now I feel comfortable passing that off. So we want to give them a ton of value, and I tell people to aim for, at the end of it, we can talk about this later about how I transitioned into like the offer. I would say something along the lines of, you guys now have everything you need to go off and do this on your own really, really well. If you want help with that, if you want to get your page done faster, easier, and better, this is a service I provide, and I can get it to you. You know, the turnaround time is 2 weeks, whatever the case might be. But so you want to say, hey guys, here's everything that you need. I had a great time helping you. And you're never going to convert those the DIY people anyway. They're going to go try to do it themselves anyway.
Right.
You don't want them. You're establishing trust, expertise, and authority through the challenge, so that people are like, you know, if the price is right, this is a no-brainer. I got to do this.
And what I think is really interesting is that would also maybe be a similar process if I had a course. Like, let's say I had a sales page course. I maybe wouldn't teach them, like give them the whole formula right then, but maybe help them with a certain part of it or coming up with XYZ, and then be like, hey, if you want the rest of this, get my course. Is that kind of how we would go from big promise to a sale? Is I would get them part of the way and then promise steps B through Z?
Yeah, we could go down the rabbit hole of talking about this as positioning. Well, it could be positioning and price anchoring too, because you could say, look, guys, I have 2 offers. If you're the kind of person that wants to do this on your own and think you can run with it, great. I have this course. It costs this. You're going to be able to finish it in this amount of time. If you're like me and short on time and want to get things done well and right, I also offer it done for you. Then you just have to talk about, okay, are you pushing those people to a phone call? So you could definitely have 2 offers as long as they're congruent and, you know, an ascension model.
So I want to bring you back, because one of the things we were talking about was starting with the big promise and what you want to have them achieve in the next 4 to 5 days. And then we got specific on the Allison, like the copy thing. But what goes in between? What are we going to teach, and how are we going to engage with them part of this 5-day challenge or 4-day challenge? How are we going to do that? What comes between the big promise and at the end of the challenge, you're going to aim to make that offer that we just talked about?
Yeah, so if the big promise of this particular challenge is, by the end of this, you're going to know how to write your own highly engaging, high converting sales page, great. So when I would sit down with somebody, I'd say, okay, great. We know the offer we're selling at the end. We know the promise of the challenge. The first thing I always ask is, and this is day 1 is crucial, you guys. Day 1 is, okay, what is the number 1 problem you as the expert know they think they have when it comes to writing their own sales page? It's not the number 1 problem you know they have, because sometimes that's subverted. What do they think their number 1 problem is? Go ahead and tell me what you think it is.
Oh yeah, I'm a terrible writer. I can't write. I'm a bad writer. I don't write well. some variation of ability to write.
Okay. And as the expert, what is the, well, first off, that's that's the subject matter of day one. You're just addressing what they know their biggest problem is. So the template for day one is basically, hey guys, you've probably tried to write your own sales page before. You're talking, you're walking them through all the old things that they know. You've probably done this, you've probably done this, you've probably done this. And if you're here, you probably haven't had success with that. I noticed that there was a big gap in the market. And so, yeah, there's plenty of people that teach you structures and frameworks. But what I'm going to start out with today is this new thing that I created. And it's how to address people that feel like they're a terrible writer. And so people are like, what? So you're filling, that's called filling the gap.
I like that.
And you say, before we get to that, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Very short bio, only in the context of building authority and how you came up with this framework. So today, the very first thing we want to do is I want to address the common misbelief that you're a terrible writer. And here's how to flip the switch from thinking you're a terrible writer to I'm a genius writer, or you could do it the opposite way. I'm going to tell even the person who thinks they're the worst writer in here and tell you how to use that as your superpower for writing a killer converting sales page. And so people are like, what? So you might not even have to change their belief. You can actually say, being a terrible writer, you have actually an advantage over people who think they're good writers. I don't know what
Yeah.
you
That actually would be interesting.
Of course.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. I really like that, because if they're thinking that they're a terrible writer, and the people who don't think they're terrible writers are actually ignorant of the fact that they're terrible writers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not looking for help.
They're not looking, yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're not looking to improve, and they're certainly not ready to receive. So there's something there. Okay.
Yeah. I really like this.
So I'm pretty good at this. So there's
I mean, I can tell you've done this once or twice, right?
we're at 62 now. And I love this. This is how my brain works. So for me, this is fun. Nerd alert.
Oh no, Jenny and I can nerd. Well, and the reason that I said the service provider side, and I probably put you on the spot there, because most people that run challenges, if you will, are coaches, experts, people with courses and programs.
Yeah.
And I think as service providers, I know just for me, that was kind of a shift in my brain when you were like, well, yeah, the people that don't want to do it are potentially going to hire you now that they've seen your framework. It was a little bit like, oh yeah, not everybody is a DIYer by nature.
Yeah.
They're just coming to check me out. Is that, so I really like that. And that's why I gave that service provider example. My nostrils were flaring. I know.
Stop. Okay.